Is AJ here. Just wanted to want to do a quick recap of OBLG. The company is called Oblong Inc. Here's their Twitter profile. OBLG is the ticker symbol. Um, so this company is a crypto-focused stock or crypto-focused company. Um, they just bought some TAOX token or some TAO token. So they're pretty much doing a partnership with this company um, named TAOX. So TAOX is a AI focused cryptocurrency company. So here is an article on PR Newswire about this company and their alignment with AI focused crypto treasuries. So Oblong just bought some TAO token, which is looking pretty good. Like it's about to break out. But more so, I'm looking at the technicals and the fundamentals of Oblong and what I think it can do in the near term, like very, very near term. Near term. So one thing I noticed was that Oblong is trapped in a range, or it's trading range bound. When I say something's trading range bound, it's floating. So you can see that this last week's candlestick, I'm looking at the weekly chart. This last week's candlestick is floating in space, like it's not hitting a resistance level or support level. It's like just sitting there. So when I see stuff like that, it leads me to believe that something big is about to happen. I actually saw this same setup in a stock named XTIA. I think it's XTIA. Yeah, XTIA. I saw a similar setup, and I actually missed out on the move because I got faked out. I saw that a candlestick was just floating in space, and I was like, man, what's going on? And I was kind of getting impatient with it, so I sold out. And literally the next trading day it ran. So I was like, man, you gotta kind of hone in on some of the things that you're seeing and some of these patterns and some of these games that you're seeing being played, and you gotta compartmentalize it and use that to your advantage in the future. So I'm seeing Oblong is about to break out, in my opinion, about to break out, but it's range bound. So it looks like there's some there's a group or an algo that's trying to keep this stock suppressed from breaking out. Um, it may break down if it doesn't break out, but from the way I'm looking at it, I think it's going to break out. Um, Cryptocurrency is back in action now. Ethereum is breaking out, and I actually did an overlay of Oblong with Ethereum. In so Oblong OBLG is the green line, and then Ethereum is all these candlesticks on the daily chart. And if you look closely, you can actually see that Oblong's pattern is literally following Ethereum's. It's a little more volatile. It's actually a lot more volatile than Ethereum because it's a penny stock, while Ethereum has trillions of dollars in it, billions or trillions, not sure, but Ethereum has a lot of money in it. So um, you can see that you know decentralized tokens and cryptocurrency is back in action. So I think just playing the trend, I think Oblong, which is now aligned with uh, cryptocurrency and decentralized tokens, I think is going to break out. So whenever Ethereum breaks out, I think Oblong is going to break out with it. And you can see that TAOX is already breaking out. And Oblong bought some of the TAO token, which is owned by the company TAOX. So I think Oblong has a chance to follow the move of TAOX and make a big move. But there's always risk. Just understand the risk that you're taking when you're buying some of these penny stocks and in the cryptocurrency space. The cryptocurrency space is very volatile, so you have to accept everything that comes with that. But oblong is range bound. It's clearly being manipulated by algos, algorithms. Algo stands for algorithms. And another thing that I noticed as well is that if you go to the daily chart, you'll see that oblong is heavily pushing this 200-day EMA. We already broke the 200-day SMA, simple moving average. So you see I have it highlighted, the simple moving average. And we're now pushing this EMA, the exponential moving average. Simple moving averages have a lot more weight than EMAs. So that's why you see this yellow line. This is the 200-day simple moving average. You can see that oblong was just straddling this thing, just struggling to really maintain and stay over it. And then it finally broke out over it. And now we're pushing the 200-day EMA, which is a pretty heavy resistance, but it's a lot weaker than the simple moving average. So I think we're going to end up breaking through this. We might end up breaking through this next week and going and doing some crazy things. So my first price target for oblong would be $6 to $8. I'm gonna move to this monthly chart. My first price target for this thing would be about $6 to $8. Actually, let's go to the weekly chart first. So yeah, six is gonna be $6, possibly up to $8, where you're seeing a lot of trading action going around in this region. 6 to 8. Back in 2023, there was a lot of action going on here. And then you can also see that these moving averages here are colliding at $6.50. $6 is being conservative. But definitely have a real shot to go from 6 to $6.50. Possibly even a little higher than that. But these two moving averages right here are definitely going to be some heavy resistance, I would say, early on. But if it decides to go higher, which I think is very possible, then it'll go higher. And if it does end up going higher, I truly believe that oblong can go as high as $17. As high as $17, but I definitely could see it getting as high as these 2 wick candles here. So $14 I think is a conservative max target to have for this play. You can see that we have heavy resistance on the 20-day SMA. The 20-day SMA on the monthly chart. So that's super heavy resistance, and I think that's why you're seeing it float on the weekly chart. You're seeing it just floating in this range on the weekly chart, because if you look at the monthly chart, it's hitting a huge resistance level. So there's algos that are programmed to keep this stock pinned here until they're ready to let it break up or break down. I think the chances of us breaking up is higher than breaking down, but you never know. Now, going back to the monthly chart, for oblong, I think we can go as high as these 2 wick candles here, possibly a little higher, possibly go up to 17. So 14 to 17 is totally possible. The reason why I say this is that I've seen this pattern in the past with a stock called IMCC, which I've played in the past. Made some good money on it. So if you look at IMCC, you have these 2 wick candles here. These 2 wicks back to back, 2 wick candles, like it was stalled out. But it can never break free. Well, not too long ago, IMCC put in a full wick, or put in a full candle that's about the size of these 2 wicks. And the crazy thing is for IMCC actually ran up in pre-market all the way up to $20. But since these candles do not register pre-market trading, you only see this sell-off wick at 7. So IMCC pumped all the way up to $20 in pre-market, but by the time the stock market opened, IMCC was trading at $7. But if you take this same setup or the same pattern and you translate it over to Oblong, I think you can get a very similar move. A very similar move. And if you look at IMCC, it was getting derailed. It was getting derailed by this 20-day moving average on the monthly chart. But then it pumped. And it pumped even higher in pre-market, but you just can't see it on here. So I think you could get a very similar move in Oblong, where this thing pumps maybe to $6 to $8, because as I showed you on the weekly chart, that's kind of where they were trying to keep it stalled at. But then I could see a move in the pre-market that could possibly take us from $14 to $17, and then possibly in the pre-market the stock will sell off, and then you'll get your pump and dump. That'll be the completion of the pump and dump. Also, I did some research on the filings, and this company has institutional investors that own warrants at $3.41. In my opinion, those investors are going to want to cash in those warrants at a much larger price than $6 to $8, which is my conservative price target. We know that hedge funds and institutional investors have businesses to run, they have employees to pay, so they have to make tens, hundreds of millions of dollars playing some of these stocks. So I don't think they're going to settle for $6 to $8. I think they're going to try to move this higher, and then they're probably going to do a stock offering that'll allow them to cash out, collect profits, and then dilute the stock back down. And they do have an S3 filing out for this stock too, so they have the paperwork ready to do a public offering or do a stock offering whenever they're ready to cash out. So that's kind of the name of the game with penny stocks. They kind of lure people in, and then they issue out shares and collect profits because they need exit liquidity. So by them doing an offering, it allows them to sell their shares at higher prices and make profits. So overall, I think Oblong has a big opportunity to make a splash this week. I could be wrong, but we will see. It is crypto week next week. This company is aligned with the cryptocurrency space. Its chart is moving with Ethereum. So just something to pay attention to. I think this company has an opportunity to make a splash, but just wanted to give my thoughts on this play. And if the play doesn't set up now, it's going to set up later. And I've seen this over the last 7 years. When it comes to penny stocks, you get a lot of manipulation, a lot of volatility. I've done my research to expect a move to $14 to $17. I do think that move is coming. It's just a matter of when. Timing the market is very, very difficult, but when you do your research on stocks and you understand the name of the game, then you feel a lot more comfortable with your analysis. So even if Oblong doesn't make a splash this week or this month, I do think a big play is coming very, very soon on this stock. You just got to be patient. So that gives my analysis on this, and thank you for watching.